and gentlemen, you are listening to Deathmatch Russell Podcast. Let's get it on! Come into the ring, step into the fire, see what you want, baby. If your heart has desire, get up, get knocked down, get up, get knocked down, get up, get knocked down, down, down. Deathmatch Russell Podcast, 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 Deathmatch Russell Podcast.
And good evening, everyone. You're listening to another episode of the Deathmatch Russell Podcast. And my guest tonight is a host of a podcast as well. Let's just Dose of Death podcast. Loren, how you doing, my friend?
I am doing great. Yeah, your Dose of Death podcast. Thank you for having me on, Russell. It's an absolute honor to be a guest of any podcast for that matter. I'm usually the one doing and asking the questions, so it's definitely nice to turn the table.
Yes, exactly. Because we all, as fans of wrestling as well, so we know what wrestling's all about these days and ages. It's and who's where, and we know what companies we like and support, and which is all the best, in professional wrestling, in independent wrestling, and female wrestling as well. Can't forget the females.
100%, 100%.
So anyway, let me get to you. What got you started as a wrestling fan? What was your first experience? What got you?
I love telling the story because it is such a weird, bizarre story. So back in 2008, I was literally just in my basement. I was literally channel surfing. I was a late bloomer per se.
Yeah.
And I happened to have Monday Night Raw on, and it was a Randy Orton promo. I think it was like during the road to WrestleMania, and I was like so entranced by his promo work. So like Randy Orton was my first favorite wrestler. Then it turned to Christian. Then it turned to Edge as I started watching more and more. It was so weird. But yeah, Randy Orton promo got me into wrestling. It was the very first line I tell people when I said I got into wrestling. So it's kind of weird, but it's different strokes for different folks, as they say,
Yeah. Orton, his career and his father, his career, and just the way that they transitioned to, as father and son, just the stories and this and that, and just the matches that his dad has had and Orton has had, even went a little extreme for ECW's extreme, little run that they did, which I was actually a part of. Was really cool. I got to be there for that night at the One Night Stand Part 2 in New York City.
Oh yeah,
at the Hammerstein Ballroom. What a night that was, man!
Wow.
Sixth row. Actually, I was right behind Mike Taz and Jerry Lawler.
Awesome.
Joey Styles when he slapped him. No, Jerry the King Lawler got slapped, remember?
Kind of. I vaguely remember that, but yeah, I think I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. But yeah, what a night. But yeah. But anyway, what wrestlers got, what got you into watching, getting you hooked up into this deathmatch world?
Man, so with deathmatch wrestling, it's crazy to me. Like, I had known professional wrestling since 2008, probably even earlier. I just don't remember as much. But so come 4 or 5 years ago, I was just on YouTube randomly, just watching indie wrestling. And stuff started popping up for like Matt Tremont, Nick Gage, all the really good ones. And I just was like, where the frick has this been my entire life?
Yes.
So I got hooked on it. And I was like, out of all of it, like the guys who really got me into deathmatch wrestling. So like my big four, as I always love to put out there, was Alex Colon, Danny Havoc, Nick Gage, Matt Tremont. And crazy to think from that list of people that I've been able to interview 2 of them, which is kind of crazy for me. They always say don't ever meet your heroes, but I've got to meet and chat with 2 of my heroes in a way.
Yeah, I have actually had Danny Havoc on a early, like a CCW podcast way back on my archives.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And of course Matt Tremont, the Bulldozer.
The legend.
Yes. But yeah, and now we look at this world of deathmatch wrestling, and we see the guys that are coming into the world. My gosh, look at these new faces we're getting. It's amazing. Like you're seeing, we're getting what a guy called Manders. We're getting just Effie and people just getting a chance to be seen.
Absolutely. This is funny you mentioned Manders and Effie, of course, two participants in TOS. And
I know.
I can't stress enough. I've known Manders since he was a Black and Brave trainee with Seth Rollins in that gym over there in Davenport, Iowa. And it's amazing to me, Manders, like he's done death matches before, and everyone kind of they blip under the radar. I'm ready for him to kind of make that next step if he's really about this, or if he's just kind of like, oh, I'm going to do it for some clicks and tweets. But I know Manders. I know what he's capable of. I love new faces in deathmatch wrestling because you can never get enough of these guys who want to do it. And you're starting to see right now there's a good influx of good deathmatch wrestlers, but there's also these younger guys who are willing to learn, put in the miles, and do what they got to do.
Also a Nolan Edward. As well.
No flinch, man. No flinch.
Yeah.
I was talking with someone today actually about him, and I remember him from the collective last year. And I remember him, like the first match I saw of him was him getting squashed by AJ Gray at Soup Grass or SUP. And I watched the match he had with the Rejects, the last event of the entire weekend, call off Monday, taking a flaming table Canadian Destroyer. And I'm like, there's something about this kid. I don't know just yet. Flash forward, of course, to this past Mania weekend. 12 matches, 4 of them being death matches. And, of course, he's gone through the ringer now with guys death match and non-death match. And I realized what it is about him that has made me draw to him is just this no flinch mentality of just get up. I don't care who's in front of me. I'm going to give it 100%. It was incredible to see him. I mean, he was the hardest worker Mania weekend. I mean, can you believe that? 12 matches.
I know. It's tons of those. Everybody. Just everybody that insanely. Let me ask you this. Sure. How did you find out about Game Changer Wrestling?
So, Game Changer Wrestling, I found out through social media, actually. It's kind of crazy. Like, I found out about them. I had kind of heard of them, but it was through the videos I had watched on YouTube. I was like, oh, this GCW seems cool. And when I was back from college in Arizona, I came back and I was like, I saw like buddy of mine do clips for NGI4. And I was like, these shows look really freaking cool. I got to get myself. And it just, of course, the global pandemic kind of put that on hold for a bit. But I was able to get out to Indianapolis for the shows out there. It was really awesome to just be able to be around great individuals. I can't stress enough. When you go to a GCW show, you're being a part of a family. Dude,
when you the tailgating, the vibe of the crowd, it's we're family, man. It's the one thing that I, from day one is what Brett wanted and the wrestlers wanted to do is, just to show they can hang with the fans. Nick can hang out and have a beer and bullshit and just tell stories and just, But yeah, now we look at it and now it's nation. I mean, we're nationwide, like
nationwide. They really have. I was telling a buddy of mine who is a wrestling fan. He's kind of getting into GCW. He's not fully into it yet. I showed him Take Care, and he was like absolutely blown away. That was like his first like legit show. Yeah. And I was like, this is your modern day ECW. You're finding ways to get everything that is relevant in today's wrestling world onto these shows. I mean, it's crazy the growth they've had from, okay, so like they said it couldn't be done with Jun Kasai, Alex Colon was your main event, to now with Ashes to Ashes to Draft Day. The growth has been monumental from those shows. So it's the proof is in the pudding, as they put it.
Yeah, you're right. You know, as myself as a fan, you know, the first day going just finding out about Game Changer Wrestling through friends, and you know, just going to social media as well. And like afterwards, Combat Zone Wrestling show, I'd hear, you know, hey, there's another company you might want to check out. Like, all right, here we go. Got to build weapons, be front row, just did the whole, you know, tour with them, like just on the East
that's
Coast.
awesome, man.
And I've actually had the chance to go with them and tour. You know, I did the 12-hour hike to Chicago for Freelance Underground's.
Yes,
the very first one that they did, and my gosh, and you know, I had to help out as well. So we were staffed that weekend. You know, like
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know Freelance well. I haven't been to their shows, but I keep in touch with the guys over there. Freelance, they're doing well. They're coming back.
Yeah, they are.
Freelance Underground, of course, I believe June 19th. I don't know when the main Freelance is gonna make that step, but I think they're just waiting for the right time. But yeah, the Freelance Underground GCW shows
and it's crazy how like a show like Freelance Underground, I got to see like John Wayne Murdoch, Kylie Ray. You know, like my gosh, you don't see that. And then she gets signed and then leaves the world of wrestling. You know.
Yeah. Shout out to Kylie Ray. Absolute gem.
I wish she had a lot more runs with Game Changer. Could you imagine? She could have really and put herself on a TV spot on AEW. My God, she would have been a.
Yeah, you know,
I know.
As someone who is a mental health advocate and someone who always, with my podcast, try to say, you know, people may not feel 100% or whatever. I mean, for Kylie to leave, come back again, leave again, now coming back again this summer. I commend her, you know, sometimes you just get that itch to come back. And sometimes wrestling is one of those things in life where you're just like, I love it too much to say no to coming back. I mean, we've seen Terry Funk come back so many times. We've seen everyone come back. So, I mean, but shout out to Kylie Ray. I've met her a couple times. Absolute great human being.
Yeah. Well, let me ask you this. What do you think of like stars like Tony Deppen, guys like Tony Deppen?
Deppen is a guy who has absolutely, since the first day I saw him, impressed me. He's not
only good wrestler, but also a beer owner as well.
It's funny. I have a fun story. I have a fun story for you with Deppen in Indianapolis. We were at the after thing. We were just all hanging around. And so I was like, hey, like Tony, like I want to know your beer knowledge and instill that. So me and him, like out of all the guys I'd met in Indianapolis, he was the one who was totally very approachable to me. And like he sat at the table I was at outdoors and just chilling and decide like, we were like, yeah, let's talk about beer, you know, no big deal. He was super awesome. I know I'm really happy for him. He's ROH World TV Champion. He is one of the owners of a brewery in Philadelphia, and still happens to do GCW and other independents. He's a guy who has really grown. I know from what Brett has said and others have said, like he was one of those guys who was like a part of the homegrown crowd. He didn't travel a lot. But when they got to traveling with him, people were in love with him. They were just like, he's over. And I think ROH saw that and saw that true testament to what he's able to do. And I've been impressed with him every single appearance he's had. The Atticus Cogar match from Ashes to Ashes, I highly recommend.
Yeah, people going back and watching that. Yeah. Yeah.
It's a good one, man. But, you know, shout out to Tony Deppen, to another beer drinker like myself.
Yeah. I know. And a good old Manser, of course, likes a cold beverage after
light beers and lariats, you know.
Light beers and lariats. I remember I got that T-shirt. I forgot when it first came out. But yeah, man, just to see a lot of, these guys, progress from where they were, in the past. You look now and then they're good things are coming from them,
Yeah, absolutely. You're seeing this. The independent wrestling, I like to say, is the land of opportunity. You are the master of your own control. And if you're going to put in the work, you're going to put in the work, and you're going to see that work pay off. It might take a little bit. Mm-hmm. Don't be discouraged.
Oh, no.
And just, put your best foot forward. I think I'm not a wrestler. I'm a fan.
Exactly.
I just want to say that before everyone. It's just like I see these guys who put their best foot forward, and you're seeing the results of that, and you got to commend the people who are able to put their best foot forward and are able to make sure that they're doing the best stuff they can. You see a lot of good people getting it, and that's all I got to say on that.
Yeah, and now for the female wrestlers as well. Let's get them. We got now called Allie Catch.
Allie Catch.
I know, man. And Billy Starks,
Space Jesus, yes.
Just a whole bunch of others. We could just go on and on.
Someone who I absolutely loved, I know she's injured right now, was Lindsey Snow, who was the Bloodsport champ, and she was slated to do ice. She's done a couple death matches. She is a ballsy wrestler. I had not even known about her till Bloodsport last year. And out of all 4 women that were in that tournament, she impressed me the most. 100%. She absolutely brought it that entire night. And I know she's been doing a lot with AEW Dark. I wish her the best in her recovery. She's absolutely awesome. But Allie Catch as well. I'm happy for the gimmick change. I know some people are a little iffy on it, but I've totally been fine with it. Sometimes you just want to be taken seriously, and this is the case right here with her. She's a good wrestler when she can show it, and she's going to show it now. The Joey Janela match was a lot better than I expected. The AAW run where she did debut this new moniker has been good. She's been able to show a lot of people that she isn't just some character wrestler, And Billy Starks, someone who absolutely blew up on the scene. Literally, I've known her since she was doing crew in Indianapolis for GCW. She had been doing crew. Her father, Mouse, shout out Big Starks brand. They had been doing crew, like he had been doing photos, she had been doing crew. She even got a pre-show match at one of the shows, and she's grown immensely. It has been really, really, really awesome to see what she's been capable of, and I only expect her to get better from here. She has a great support system, which is so hard to find in independent wrestling these days. Like, yes, you can support yourself. Yes, you can. But like for her to have this whole support system that was created by her father, just like, hey, like have a couple friends that you can go to. Like if this was the independents, like maybe 10 years ago, and that thing happened, people would be like, what are you talking about? Why is this happening? Like now it's like we're more accepting of an idea where, you have this big Starks brand. You have friends.
Let's hope we see her at the TOS weekend.
Absolutely, 100%. They're good. That family's gonna be very busy this summer. Let me just put it like that.
Yeah, they always are. She's always busy everywhere. She had a great match with Starboy Charlie. There's another guy,
really good
at the H2O Academy down in Williamstown.
Yes, and then the spring break match they had was very good too.
And we're looking forward to seeing Starboy Charlie come back.
Starboy. I had heard of him through Gringo Loco.
Gringo, good dude.
Gringo, yeah, Gringo, Chicago man, love him. I've known him for a while since I got into independent wrestling.
Let me ask you this, Loren. Where are you actually located? Where are you from?
So I'm just outside of Chicago, so about 30 minutes away. I'm up in the north suburbs.
Right.
So Chicago wrestling, I support Chicago independent wrestling as much as the whole independent wrestling scene. Chicago independent wrestling, it's one of those parts of the Midwest where people want to get noticed.
Absolutely.
And for a guy like Gringo Loco to make the rounds and make Chicago proud. I mean, the guy still does local indie bookings as much as possible. Yes, he is a huge lucha man. Shout out to Galley Lucha Libre. Those guys have been absolutely killing it with the people they bring in. Gringo is getting to work with some of the best in the world. But so bring it back. The Gringo had the match with Starboy Charlie in California. And I saw this kid and I was like, who is this kid? How do you get him booked everywhere? And I know COVID kind of put a lot of the plans back a bit, but it seemed like GCW was high on him. And now I've seen him grow from the match with Gringo to the Blake Christian match, which was a very different style that neither of them are used to.
Yeah, man.
And
shout out to that guy, Blake Christian, man.
All heart, baby. All
heart. Shout out to him, man. Doing good things for WWE.
Yeah. But Starboy and the Leo Rush match really impressed me. I mean, Leo's a seasoned
that put him to like the test of being schooled, being shown, getting to work, man, and just get what you can, because you know what, your competition is right in front of you, man. You don't know who you're going to be facing next, and like Leo has been there. Leo has been everywhere, and he knows, he's not scared to put down, Yeah,
absolutely. He's been to the top of the mountain, and then he's climbing back to the top of the mountain again. He knows what he's doing. He's a smart businessman.
Yeah, he is, and a good musician and a great father.
All great, all very, very true.
I know, man. I know. And not only that, he's going to be making that appearance in Power Rangers movie coming.
Wait, really? Leo is?
Yes, he is.
Wait, really?
White Lotus or something? White something in the new Power? Yeah, keep your eye. He got the call for that, so that's
awesome.
I know, good for him. That's kind of his kind of role,
That's awesome. Good for him. Yeah, he's finding opportunities even outside of wrestling, which is what he's wanted for a while. I've seen. Yeah. I think in WWE it's hard to do that because of the schedule you work and what they want you to work. But when you get outside, as I said before, with independent wrestling, you are the master of your own control, and you determine what you do and what you cannot do. And Leo is mixing the father life, the wrestling life, and the professional life.
Yep.
And he's doing it very well. So
that's just like Tony. Also, it's just all these guys. A lot of these guys, man, are really just
absolutely.
But let's talk about this guy coming in, and Jake Carter. Cartwright, right? Cartwheel or
Jack
something?
Cartwheel? Jack Cartwheel.
Yeah. Jack Cartwheel.
I love me some Jack Cartwheel, man. That kid is money. First of all, when I saw him, I watched the match with Jimmy from Draft Day, and I saw him. I was like, "Is that Ricochet 2.0?" He had the build of Ricochet. He looked like him. I was like, "Whoa!" And he wasn't. But the kid is athletic. I was impressed. I mean, Jimmy Lloyd is a guy who can put a lot of people over. I went back on YouTube and to see some of his stuff. My gosh, pretty. He's very good. Jack Cartwheel is a guy who I very much see having a bright future. I mean, I could see if he gets signed in the next 3 years, I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't.
Yeah, but to face Jimmy, it's going to be a good match again.
The Tony Deppen match at TOS weekend. That's going to be very good.
That really is. That's going to put a test to him. Tony's really gonna show him some stuff too.
Put him through some grapples, as they say.
Yeah, the grapples. But who else, man? Who else are you looking at? Like, I mean, there's so many guys that we could talk about.
So, two guys that have absolutely impressed me, who I literally found out about the two of these two guys. Literally, they were just doing stuff in Texas, flippy stuff in Texas. I think you know what I'm talking about. Dante Leone and Ninja Mac, who are literally they are burning the internet to a crisp. Ninja Mac, I don't know if you heard.
Yeah.
I don't know if you heard a story. So I believe he did gymnastics
in his younger ages. Virtual video that was out.
Yes, he put out a video. Like he did gymnastics. The guy was in Cirque du Soleil. Like he would do stuff for them, and he trained at Booker T's Reality of Wrestling School. Like I didn't even know he was a trained wrestler to begin with.
That's awesome. Yeah,
and
I know.
I found out about him because my buddy, who I've interviewed, shout out to Martin and Carrillo and John Huerta, run Wrestling Unicorns. They were in Texas doing clips for Loco Wrestling in Texas.
Actually, also Ninja Mac knows one of my guy who actually just came down to the shore this past weekend for this Titan show that we had. His name's Jason Knight.
Oh, I think I've heard of him. I'm not
Jason
sure.
From Loco Wrestling.
Yeah, Loco Wrestling. If you've not heard, they're like a Texas style GCW. They got some real crazy stuff. They packed this field house, and I saw the clips from it. Like they had Ninja Mac versus Dragonbane, who you saw at the Acid Cup in the spring break match.
Yeah,
and those two were doing stuff I couldn't believe that was even humanly possible.
But the first time I saw the Loca, actually, I was like watching Sammy Guevara's vlog.
He's at the
show. He was at the building training or something.
Yes, I think he was doing a seminar and doing meet and greets. I know, but shout out to Mar and John, Wrestling Unicorns. They get those guys. I can't stress enough. Some of the best wrestling clip guys out there. If you're a promotion looking for good guys who are willing to travel, who are willing to put in the work, you see their work every single month. What they've been able to accomplish. But that aside, Ninja Mac and Dante Leone, they had a match against each other at Loco. And, of course, JCW was like, we got to pounce on this. We got to do it as a main event. We love both these guys. And they put on one of the craziest independent main events I've ever seen in this year. I was absolutely blown away by the two of them. Dante Leone's another guy from the Midwest, from Black and Brave with Seth Rollins. And I couldn't even believe the stuff he was doing. That shooting star, that Phoenix Splash cutter, the little like inverted backflip cutter.
Yeah, don't forget he did the Fight Forever. He did,
he does a lot of really cool stuff, really cool, innovative stuff, and both those guys, shout out to them. They're hustling right now. They're gonna be a tag team at JCW. Come June 5th against two other guys I'll talk about with I can't stress enough, the H2O school has got some of the most groomed, polished, well-oiled machines in the entire independent wrestling scene. And shout out to two guys who I absolutely adore, and Dylan McKay and Marcus Mathers, who as a team, I call them the kids. They're great.
They grow fast, man. I've seen them ring crew to do the wrestling. Come on, they're great guys.
It's crazy. Marcus Mathers, I didn't even know this until I talked with Matt Tremont, that his dad is Mark Angel, the independent wrestler. I didn't know that. And then I kind of see them face like side to side, face to face. I'm like, oh wow, now that I realize the resemblance.
Right.
So shout out to all the H2O students. I've gotten to have the great honor of interviewing the boss man Tremont, but of course I had Sean Henderson on my show. Absolutely adore Sean and all those students. They're killing it every single show they do.
I haven't gone to one of their shows in quite a while. It's been a while, man, and they're coming up on their anniversary.
Yep.
Man, it's insane.
That's what's up.
But it's going to be a long weekend. That's for sure. It's
gonna be a long weekend. I know.
I know.
I'm just happy to be out there.
Mm-hmm.
I'm happy to be doing this. I didn't think I was even capable of doing this kind of trip. It's just I'm fully vaccinated. I'll be legally fully vaccinated by Monday.
Yeah.
And I just was like, you know what? Like, this is once a year.
It's a vacation. You need a vacation.
It's a little vacation.
I know. That's what I said to people. Hey, you know what? I live in Jersey. I'm so used to going everywhere else, but hey, being at the shore, being near a casino, watch wrestling, drink some beers. What else could go wrong?
Man.
Good
I'm just
food.
excited.
Yeah, good food, and that's about it. You know.
Yeah, I haven't been to Jersey in years, so this is gonna be kind of a nice little thing for me.
Well, you can see the empty Trump Plaza Casino because they demolished it. You know?
R.I.P. I'm just kidding. Something's gotta go down in AC, and if that's it, so be it.
But also, let's get into, you know what? We're gonna be seeing some inductees for this year's.
Yes, we are.
This will be actually your first time going to this, actually, right?
Yes.
Funny.
I want to say, funny enough, this is like the first live deathmatch show I've ever seen.
Really, man?
No. Here's why. So
right.
Chicago's kind of a little bit of a stickler about it. I know GCW runs in Summit now when they're able to get away with it there. But if you go like to the actual like city limits, their venues are very, very strict about it. Like the most hardcore match I've seen was at AAW. I was front row. I was second row originally, but someone was like, "Hey, you want my front row?" I'm like, "Okay, sure."
Oh,
and it was Nick Gage versus Matthew Justice. They could do barbed wire, but that's it. They could not do anything more. Like no glass, no tubes. Like the venue, it's too close knit to where they could actually do that without potential liabilities. So for me to go to TOS is an absolute honor. For me to be able to be at the Deathmatch Hall of Fame is an absolute honor.
Yeah, it's going to be a great night to see Nick Mondo be inducted. My gosh, I know. It's like
one of the true innovators of deathmatch wrestling. That he was the guy who did a lot of the cool athletic stuff before everyone else did.
And also, don't forget about Supreme. You know,
rest in peace, Supreme.
XPW Pro, man. Shout out to
cool stuff.
Shout out to my friend Homeless. Actually, shout out to my friend Homeless Jimmy as well.
Oh, Homeless Jimmy, yeah. I know his daughter Sage Sin will be inducting him.
Yes.
That's awesome. Love it. Love the family. I know if this had happened last year, it would have been really awesome to see Supreme get that Hall of Fame induction. But, things happen, and they happen for a reason, as they say, and Sage and accepting the honor. And, of course, we can't go without talking about Eugene, one of the ultimate ultra-violence creators of all time.
Yes, the dad builder of wrestling. Yes, he's the. I've been there to see him build I'm always helping him too. It's funny. It's like he needs a hand. Here you go.
That's awesome. So I'm happy to be there and enjoy the moment with a lot of you guys who are going to be there. It's really awesome just to be able to be there. I'll be around most of Sunday. I got a 9:00 flight back home, so. Yeah, it's a weekend warrior trip for me.
Got the folks drop me off for the weekend. I don't care. Hey, see you. That's an hour ride for me.
Yeah, I hear you. So I'm just really excited to be there. My first live deathmatch show gonna be front row. Also, kind of a little hint spoiler. I signed up with GCW to have my podcast logo on the Tournament of Survival canvas. I got the word from shout out to Adam and the guys at Orange Crush, and everyone else. So y'all be seeing Your Dose of Death podcast on your TV screens on Fight TV. It feels kind of crazy. I'm going to be there in person to see that come to life.
Yeah, I've had my share in the past. You've probably seen it, like the David Arquette.
I've seen it. Yes, I have.
I tell people, hey, David Arquette stepped on my fucking tombstone.
Yeah, right. That's awesome. But yeah, it's just with your I just want to kind of give a little gist of your dose of death to the people, to your listeners and whatnot. To kind of get a little background, I didn't think about wrestling podcasts for the longest time. I didn't think I had
me
it
either. Me either, man. That's what
And the reason I really got into it, and I've been very open about this, is because I kind of just got tired of just doing stuff on Twitter. You know what I mean? I was like, if I'm gonna try and be constructive and be someone who wants to be a positive advocate for deathmatch wrestling, for independent wrestling, I gotta do more. And so I put it out there that I was like, okay, I'm interested in doing podcasting. If you want me on your show to be a contributor, I didn't care what it was. I just like, you know what, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna take that next step and go out there to the world and say, hey, Loren wants to do something. And I got a DM from my now bosses, Ryan, Nietzsche, and Mikey Manfredi. Shout out to those two. They are literally the glue that makes your dose of death stick together. And they're like, hey, like, are you interested in joining? I'm like, okay, I didn't know. I looked at their thing. I wasn't too sure. They had a few people, and we're like, we're building this podcast network, and whatever you got, we're down to do. And I was like, okay, like, I got this deathmatch podcast idea. And I was like, I was so unsure at first. I did like some articles at first, but I'm not a writer. I've never been a writer. I did some articles.
Nobody is. We're not professional. Come on. We're just.
But I was like, I'll do it. I'll do it. I don't care. And I went from there, and by late January, I'd already been up on my feed doing my first episode, and I was like, I'm really doing this.
Yeah, the first struggles. It's hard because it's
well, I didn't. I had
because we didn't have any microphones.
Yeah, right. No, I got my microphone right here.
Yes,
I have my mic. I had my setup was fine, but I had an awesome first guest in Bam Sullivan. I cannot thank Bam enough for literally putting his face in a guy.
Shout out there's a guy who needs to be recognized, and he's going to be.
He will. He is already. But Bam was the first. I was like, I want someone who hasn't made the rounds yet. I want someone really unique. And I was like, Bam is that guy. And I talked to him, and he's like, yeah, absolutely. I was kind of like blown away. I was like, you're for real putting your faith in me? He's like, yeah. I'm like, okay, we do it. First episode comes out. People are like, this is awesome. I'm like, wait, what? I did not take myself seriously. And now I'm about to be near 20 episodes now. And in a few months in, absolutely.
Keep on going, dude. It builds.
And so Mikey is my editor. He edits my podcast. He makes me sound like gold. Ryan's like my head honcho. He is as good as it. The whole count out. I can't stress enough how awesome of a wrestling podcast they have. Like the network. I mean, you have Independent Waters in talk about indie wrestling, review a whole obscure load of matches. You have G1 and Only, which Ryan does, which is literally about like the one and done participants of the G1 Climax, which is the most obscure podcast idea ever, but it works. It's really cool. The Lovely Ladies of How to Talk to Your Friend About Wrestling. It literally is a show, as it sounds, it's a how to talk to your friend about wrestling. Like there's one woman who is a huge fan and the other is not as much of a fan. She's kind of learning on the fly.
Right.
And we have a group chat, and like she'll always ask us like, so who's this person? Who's that person? And it's absolutely great. And of course, I think the big hit they have is called Hit the Bucks, which is a WWE fantasy booking podcast. Like the two hosts of Mikey and Ryan, my bosses.
That's great. Like something like that. I never got into the fantasy booking crap. I never got involved. Yeah,
it's not like my cup of tea, but they make it fun. They make it fun where like they have a poll, they have a whole thing. They make it fun compared to like other people who are just like, I want to fantasy book this. I want they make it really fun, man. It's the whole network. I'm so honored to be with them.
Let me ask you, Loren, Let me ask you this: what other podcasts do you like besides our podcasts?
So here's a fun thing for you. I don't listen to as many podcasts as I used to because I'm going to say this, like this podcast that I'm doing is taking up so much of my time now. And I will say this though, like some of the podcasts I do try, like I listen to a lot of the GCW ones on Patreon.
Oh,
so like the world of Deathmatch podcast is like my bread and butter. And I'll always message Alex Stone, like give him a little tips and pointers. Me and him kind of chat a lot. The History of GCW podcasts were really good. I need to listen to the new one that they put out. Of course, the official one they do. But I will say I just haven't listened to a lot as of late. I find myself doing other things, and that's not no offense. I want to say no offense to anyone listening to this. That's just how my life has turned into. Because I'll say this, like doing this podcast and doing other podcasts has really been good time killers during the pandemic. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
They're great time killers, and it's just like, because you feel when you're done doing them, it's the best feeling in the world.
Because you know why? Because you're just getting yourself out there. It's just to have fun,
And this is kind of like a little insider secret. I don't know if I want to say it like that, but whenever I'm with a guest, whenever I'm with that, I always tell them, like before we record, like, let's have fun with this. Let's have fun with this.
Stories. I'll tell you what, stories go a long way from podcasts. And my gosh, I've interviewed I've actually dug back to the roots of wrestling. Like I actually talked to a wrestler who made it big, and just Dr. D. David Schultz.
Oh, Dr. D. David, that's awesome. I gotta go back and listen to that one.
Yeah, man, he wrestled in my hometown.
That's awesome.
In my town. He came back. I saw Bruiser Brody at a young age, dude.
Oh man, rest in peace, Bruiser. Man, I have a really big soft spot in my heart for Bruiser Brody. Man, that was the original OG violence maker. Him and Abdullah the Butcher, man, were so cool for their time.
Yeah. So I got to see him inside a steel cage. Yep.
Oh, that's awesome.
I know. It's on YouTube, actually.
That's cool. But doing, like, in regards to wrestling podcasts, like, I'm down to listen to podcasts and all, but it's like, find the time. Like, I'll say this. I had more time listening to podcasts when I would, like, be heading to work. Now I'm working from home. I don't be like, I need to put something on to kill the time. But now it's like, okay, I'll listen here and there.
It's like we'll catch a Stone Cold Steve Austin or a Colt Cabana, like real quick,
I used to listen to a lot of the Colt Cabana ones. I used to listen to a lot of Talk is Jericho, a lot of Chris Van Vliet.
I guess
now I don't. I barely listen to those.
I know. Now Colt's starting it up again, which is cool.
I'm really happy for him. Colt is a guy. I've been to PWTs many times. I've been to the physical location. And I've been to meet and greets there and all that. And it's really cool. It's funny seeing Colt Cabana's name as like the assistant manager at PWTs. I'm like, oh yeah, Colt ran this. And I went to a meet and greet there with Mick Foley, which was really awesome. I'm a big Mick Foley guy. And it was just so cool to just be like, oh yeah, like I'm at PWTs finally. And I bought like the grab boxes and all that. So it's an experience. If you're a wrestling fan, go to PWTs that one time. It's like kind of like Wonka at the Chocolate Factory.
That's what I did. I got the Macho Man box, And
those are hot sellers, man.
That was a Macho box, and I had who do I have? I had I think I had a Cody Rhodes autograph.
Oh, that's cool, man.
And a Jake Roberts one.
Oh wow, yeah. But as a wrestling fan, I mean, my tastes have changed. I feel like my tastes always change kind of depending on my mood. And I mean, really, deathmatch though has really stuck with me these last 4 or 5 years. And I say this a lot to people, like independent wrestling was there for me at my lowest point in life. It picked me up. It gave me the motivation to do something like this.
Yep. I've done that, been there, done that,
And I can't thank wrestling enough for the times it's been there. So
and you know what? This is a way for us to give back to the wrestlers.
Absolutely.
this is what I always say. Thank you guys for contributing your time. I'm not asking for a pay. Pay. I don't care. I don't care. Whatever I don't make.
Yeah, absolutely. 100%. Yeah, I don't.
Thank yous. Just a thank you for being and supporting a product and.
Yeah, absolutely. And I have been so incredibly grateful to interview the people I've been able to interview. And with my podcast, I've tried so hard not to just everyone wants to listen to the wrestlers, but no one wants to listen to the people who are backstage or who are on the camera or content creators. I've really, really tried hard to get content creators on my show or people who are like, look at my sponsors, Grateful Death Match and Crimson Mask. Skip Van Alstyne, who runs Grateful Death Match, does some of the dopest stuff on the scene. I can't say enough.
Yeah, Crimson, good people. They're
as well. Crimson with Billy Valentine. Has been absolutely awesome. They've just been so much fun to work with, and I did a sponsors episode with them, and let me tell you, that was just some fun shenanigans with the two of them. We're just all enjoying each other's time and not caring about a single thing in the world except being there for the three of us. And of course, also I've been recently sponsored by Toy Hio. It's a temporary sponsor. Rob Craig, shout out to him. He approached me and was like, "Hey, I have a live read, and I've been promoting Toy Hio Toy Show. So if you guys, I'll promote it here just vaguely. It's in Ohio.
Yeah.
It's I know Matt Cardona, Mark Sterling, formerly Kurt Hawkins, I forget his, Brian Myers, and Hornswoggle are all going to be there signing. It's June 19th. So I've been promoting that every week on my podcast. It's really awesome to just give back to the community at hand. And I'm always looking for collaboration. So I do want to say thank you so much, Russell, for having me on here. It's been awesome.
Dude, anytime, my friend. This is a way just to kill time. This is like, it is really, some days it's just like, all right, what's on TV tonight? Nothing good.
The same. I was the same way, man.
Yeah. I don't watch as much TV as I used to. AEW, yes, I will watch that.
Yeah, that's my Wednesday night.
That's my Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday night,
Yeah, for sure.
And now network changing in 2022. So
I'm happy for that. I'm an AEW fan. And so TBS, I know TBS, they're in as many homes as TNT. So they're just going to get the same amount of attention.
And actually something funny was just happened to me last week or during this past week. I should send you the clip. I was on a virtual on Facebook Live with Marco Stunt.
Oh yeah. Marco. Okay.
And, so he's like, "Wow, man, it's been a long time since I've seen you." And I was like, "Yeah," because I saw him first. I actually had him as one of my guests when he was really just, breaking out.
That's crazy.
I was like, "Marco, you better come to a Game Changer soon." I'm sure he's coming. He has to.
Yeah. It's funny. So I was at All Out, and of course, Marco was in that 6-man tag with SCU. And I'm waiting in line to get in, and I see like Logan's son, his brother, wearing the Team Stunt shirt, and I see his family, and I'm like, I just start yelling, "Go, Marco!" Yeah, and I see him, and they're like, "Thank you." And that was like the first time I really seen like Mama, Papa Stunt in that family.
Oh, actually, also before I got on with Marco, his parents actually popped on a virtual too. It was funny.
That's great. No, yeah, Mama, Papa Stunt. That's a wrestling family that is very close knit. So I'm happy for them.
I've had the father. I've had Marco. I've had Logan.
Yeah.
Great people. Really great people.
But and also I want to say I do have merch. I want to promote that real quick. It's on What a Maneuver. Really, they have been really awesome to work with, man. They have made shout out to Wham, What a Maneuver, whatever you want to call them. And they have made it really easy to work with. I was just like, "Hey, I want a store." I thought nothing of it. I was like, I guess I'll make merch. It's a way to make some money. I don't care. And I've been able to do it for the few months I have, and I've had people buy stuff. I was like kind of like shocked. I'm like, am I really like on anyone's radar? And next thing you know, I have people. I had one person who literally bought a hoodie and a shirt for me. I was like, whoa, like you're buying two of my things. And they're like, the hoodie's really comfortable. And I'm like, well, okay then. The design of it, I don't know if you've seen the design of it. And it was a very simple design, but I want to give a shout out to a guy I consider a friend, John McNulty, John Boy, Captain John Boy, whatever you see his Twitter name is now. He made a design for me, and I was like, I want something simple but sweet. And it was like white type red paint, just with that white curvature. And he made it look like $1 million. I can't thank him enough. And shout out to all the artists.
What do you think of this right here behind me?
Yeah,
like, I got this on Amazon on Craft. What is it? Craft Photo Cafe Press.
Okay. It's nice. It's a nice look. It looks good as the background too.
$60, dude. I paid $60 to.
That's awesome.
Right out of that. So that's like something now. Take to shows or go.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'll say this: like the people who
I used to have.
awesome.
I used to have that red poster, like that's behind this backdrop.
Yes.
I was like it was not catchy at all. I was like, you know what? It's time for a change, and you have to.
Yeah,
always out.
Change is good, as they say, right?
Like the merch stores as well. We're always switching up the merch and getting new stuff in.
Yeah, like for me, I've been able to just do the one shirt. I'm like, I'm gonna do the one shirt. I'll promote it here and there, not in any rush. But no, John McNulty,
you'll be getting awesome, you'll be getting one of these. So.
Beautiful! Give me one to you last weekend, and I'll use I love koozies, by the way. For those of my listeners and all that, I love koozies because it's like, what if I'm going outdoor? I have a koozie every day.
You can't even tell that's a koozie. I cut it out.
No, that's so cool.
I know. Get my own touch on it, Mike. Yeah, but let me ask you this.
Sure.
All right. You know what? Let's have some fun with this conversation now.
Okay, let's go.
Have you watched the new Mortal Kombat, the Cobra Kai? Have you watched the Cobra Kai?
Oh my God, I love Cobra Kai.
Okay, get ready for this.
Yeah, what's up?
Get ready for my mix up. If you were to go back in history or wrestlers, who would you pick as characters?
Ooh, like of Cobra Kai or Karate Kid?
Yes, like as the kid, as the character.
Okay, so if I had the future, so wrestlers who like would be in Cobra Kai. Okay, so Danny LaRusso would be Akira. I think Danny LaRusso would be Akira. I think you need someone blonde for Johnny.
Cody. Somebody said Cody.
Cody. I want to go a bit more obscure than that, but I think Cody would be a good one. But no, Akira is a total Johnny LaRusso. Like I can just see it from a mile away. Okay, so and then I'm trying to think who the love interest.
Yeah,
Allie. I think Allie was her name.
Yeah.
I'm trying. Damn, this is tough. This is a good one, though.
Is that cool? Isn't that cool? Now you can.
That is a cool one. I'm trying to think. I mean, maybe Charlie Cruel or Brandy Rose. I don't know which way you want to go.
Yeah,
with
or Britt Baker.
Britt Baker. Okay.
Okay, and in Japan would be Sue. I always thought Sue Young.
Sue Young. Oh my goodness.
As the girlfriend in Japan. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. The girlfriend in Japan. Okay. Fine. I see that. Trying to think who would be Kreese. I feel like Kreese would be like an Ian Rodden or something like that. I could totally see like Kreese, like Ian Rodden, be like, no mercy. No mercy.
No mercy.
But Mox could be
could be one of the bullies.
One of the bullies. But if if no matter the country or whatever, like he could be easily like one of the villains in one of the first, like the Karate Kid 1 or 2. He'd be that. Eddie Kingston would be like one of the gullible sidekicks or something like that. He'd be that. But yeah, I think Akira would be your Johnny LaRusso. Your
who would be the
Danny LaRusso?
Yeah. Who would be the dad? Who would be that guy in Japan? You know, that dojo guy.
Miyagi. Okay, Miyagi.
Mr. Fuji. That's the.
Mr. Fuji or Mr. Miyagi. Yeah. Miyagi. Oh, geez, who would say wax on, wax off real good?
Mr. Fuji would.
Mr. Fuji, yeah, rest in peace, Mr. Fuji.
Who would be that guy, the instructor? Who would be the Japanese instructor?
Go on.
That's another one.
Like a Hiroshi Tanahashi or something like that, or Antonio Inoki. Could put Inoki in there and just be like, "Quit." I don't know, but you always got some good stuff. I know I love the Cobra Kai shows, man. So good. I as a Karate Kid fan, I was a little hesitant about Cobra Kai. I was like,
is it gonna be okay? Is it gonna be good?
But I was blown away. I was blown away at how good it was from the beginning, man. So
I kept on telling friends and family, "Hey, watch this. This is really damn good. You'd be hooked."
Yeah, it's Karate Kid for a new generation, is what I like to call it. It keeps the lore of the original films, but it does a very good job of introducing a whole lot of characters. So I love Cobra Kai. That was a good question. Thank you for that one.
What's your current music right now? What are you listening to? What's your jump to music? What do you play? Like, what's your favorite?
Man, I have a very weird taste in music. Yeah. Let me tell you. Like, literally, I had Little Nas X on the other day. I mean, I'm looking at my Spotify right now. Like, I have anime theme songs on there. I've had 21 Pilots.
Yes.
I had some rap. I had some punk. I've been listening to Sum 41 and System of a Down lately. What else? One of my favorite bands, The Day to Remember, All Time Low.
Right on.
Yeah, I have an insanely weird taste in music, and everyone's like, "What the hell you listening to?" I'm like, I don't care.
It's like me, man. It's like I was born in, like, what are you listening to? Bon Jovi, Elvis, dude. I grew up on this shit. Come on, Johnny Cash. Come on, man. Like,
I listen to anything and everything. I'm not that
Dave Matthews to John Mayer to the
DMBs,
AC/DC, and I'm actually looking forward to Saturday night because I'm gonna actually go see a tribute band.
Oh, that's awesome, man.
They're gonna be jamming at a little venue.
That's awesome. But yeah, I also have, of course, my fair share of wrestling themes on my Spotify.
I got GCW's playlist. Yep.
Oh, I need to get on that GCW playlist and see what that's all about. So I'll get to it. I'll get to it eventually.
My current song, my ringtone is actually the Orange Cassidy new theme. So.
Jane. Or no, not Jane. No, Pixies.
Yeah, it is a catchy tune.
Everyone was like, "Oh, get Jane," and Tony Khan's like, "No." I'm like, "Okay, fine. It is what it is."
But now I might put the Onita song on. So again,
Wild Thing's a good one. Do make my heart sing.
Now, speaking of that, let's. What do you think, man? We're having. I don't know if it's going to be soon or not.
The FMWE.
No. And Nick Gage. What did you think of the Nick Gage, the Moxley invasion when he came to?
I love it. I'm going to say this: like GCW. The fact that GCW can bring in a star-studded talent like Jon Moxley, who has history with Brett Lauderdale, who has history with Nick Gage, who is now basically a free man per se in the world of wrestling, and has been able to do what he can. Like, the guy, since leaving WWE, Moxley, like, put it this way, shows up to Japan, wins their U.S. title, shows up to AEW, goes against their top talent, goes to literally anywhere he goes, and he garners attention. That is a guy you want on your roster. And the fact is, he's game. He's game in this deathmatch industry. He's not just someone who's a coward.
No, he's not like the wrestler, like Mickey Rourke was.
Man, I love Mickey. Love
God, shout out to that movie. Yeah.
But Mox, I'm gonna say this. I know a lot of people have been wanting it really quickly, and I'm here to kind of not insult anyone or anyone. But we
know.
Burns,
but we
slow
know.
Burns are nice. And I have been someone who's been a fan of slow burns in wrestling because it rewards the fans for paying attention. It is insane to me. It's like everyone's like Mox versus Gage in Vegas, Mox versus Gage. I'm like,
Gage
guys,
in Atlantic City, come on,
like, guys.
Wait for the smoke to clear. It's gonna happen.
It's gonna happen. It's patience. Your patience will be rewarded.
Yeah, and we shall be received the greatness of the gifts,
Yeah, and I'm very happy to see this happen. So, I mean, I'm excited. I mean, Mox is in. Nick Gage said he wants to give him a proper death match in his return. I mean, there you cannot absolutely decline this.
Yeah. But I think that's about it. We're done. What do you say?
I think so too, man.
Show's over.
Show's over. Just shout out to you, Deathmatch Wrestle Podcast. Thank you so much for having me on.
Absolutely. Plug. Yep.
Okay, absolutely. My podcast, Your Dose of Death. Always an episode goes live on Tuesdays. On the thing, I got pointed that way. At Loren by DOD is literally the only place you will get all things Your Dose of Death. And the red circle link that you see directs to my show. The show is on all major podcast outlets, Spotify, Apple, Google, wherever you can find it. Going to be plugging this real hard, but if you do Apple Podcasts, please give me 5-star reviews. It goes a long way to the growth of the podcast. And also, if you guys want merch, hit in my the Twitter link at LorenYDOD. There will be a link. What a Maneuver will go directly to my store. The proceeds go straight to me. So it's supporting me in the development, the growth of this podcast. It's really awesome. And of course, also the Count Out Wrestling Podcast Network. They've been incredible in supporting this crazy pipe dream that I once had. That's now 20 episodes in. They have some awesome podcasts, as I said on this interview. Indie Waters, excuse me. How to Talk to Your Friend About Wrestling. Hit the Books, G1 and Only, and of course Your Dose of Death. A really eclectic list of wrestling podcasts. We're only going to get bigger and better, guys. So hop on the ride. And I believe, if you're going to be at TOS weekend, I will be there.
Say
hello to both of us.
Yes.
I will be in a white Michael Jordan jersey in honor of Alex Colon, going for that three-peat, because three-peat season, baby. But I'll be at the Deathmatch Hall of Fame and the JCW show, and I'll try to be at most of the show on Sunday, so you'll have many of chances to see me. I am no stranger. I'll be rocking a Your Dose of Death shirt at the other shows.
We'll be drinking beers, plenty of beers, people.
Yep. I'm more than happy if you want to buy me a drink, whatever.
Yes. Yeah, girls, hit us up. Come on.
And I am happily taken, by the way. I have a wonderful girlfriend of the past 2 years. So
God bless you.
Thank you.
God bless you.
Thank you. But anyways, thank you again, Russell, for doing this. It's been awesome to talk with you. It's been over an hour plus. I know it's 8 o'clock over by you, and for me, it's almost 8 o'clock here. It's almost 9 o'clock to you. I was going to say, oh my goodness.
Yeah, you got to get used to that East Coast time soon. I know, right?
Yeah, I'll be there for a weekend or two. I don't know. Yes. But anyways, thank you again, and support independent wrestling. Support your podcast, your content creators.
actually, also, let's like everybody check us out once in a while. We pop on to what is it, Twitter Space? We just like to get ourselves. That's a cool concept, man. It really is.
I love it, man. And someone was texting me. It was actually my sponsor, Crimson Master. Like, it's a mini podcast. I'm like, I don't know about that, but
I don't know. I think we could record stuff on there. Yeah.
Can you? I didn't know that. Whatever.
Yeah. Just hit the screen share, on your cell phone,
Okay, whatever. But anyways, thank you,
have a good night. Yeah, I'll see you on Twitter. I'll see you on Twitter, like always.
As always. Good night, guys. Thank you so much.
No problem, man. Have a good night. I'll kick you out. All right. You good? All right, fans. Well, let me get this little logo up here now because I don't need him on there. But I did it again, folks. Now you can see my banners are naked. I have to get better at this eventually. But there we go. No. There we go. All right, fans, have a good night, and thank you for listening to the Deathmatch Wrestle podcast with my guest tonight, Loren from the Dose of Death podcast. And you know what? He's ready for some wrestling this week. Coming up, 2 weeks, a couple more weeks. He's going to make a little trip down to the Jersey Shore to watch a lot of Game Changer wrestling in GCW. And as Game Changer also presents TOS 666 Deathmatch Tournament and Deathmatch Hall of Fame with the inductees of Supreme and Sick Dick Mondo and Eugene. And what a night it's going to be, fans. Stay tuned for that. And Deathmatch Wrestle podcast will be back tomorrow night with my guest. I'll be talking to professional wrestler Rick. Not Rick Recon. Oh, I had him last week. Ray Caltree. And we'll be talking to him. And tune in for that podcast at 8 p.m. tomorrow night. And have a good night, everybody. Thank you for listening. Till next time.
You can find more Deathmatch Wrestle podcasts on the following social media: DeathmatchWrestle.com, follow on Twitter at DavidNJ32, and on Facebook, Facebook.com/DJDaveNJ32. Find me on Podcast City Network at PodcastCity.net, Facebook.com/Podcast City Network. Hit the like button and share, and on Twitter at PodcastCityNet. You can hear Deathmatch Wrestle podcast on Stitcher Radio and on iTunes.
Hey, wrestling fans, check out BootandHeel.com for all your independent wrestlers, apparel, and more. Also, check out Deathmatch Wrestle Podcast as well. www.bootandheel.com.